Hey, Brightside Detectives, we really need your help here. These riddles are to be solved as fast as possible. Look at these two people. Both of them seem to be in grave danger, but only one of them is actually risking his life. Which person is it? The gentleman with the cane is out of danger. He'll figure out that the edge of the cliff is ahead with the help of his cane. As for the man engrossed in his smartphone, he might not notice the edge of the cliff and fall down. While swimming near the shore, Mark has come across three young ladies. What the guy doesn't know is that only one of these women is not a mermaid. How can he understand who is who? Well, the answer is quite obvious. The guy should dive and check which one of the girls has legs and which two are sporting tails. Look at these two doctors attentively. Only one of them is a real vet. Which doc is it? The real vet is wearing gloves. Each of these three prisoners is hoping to escape one day, but one of them might do it in the near future. Which one is it? The guy who's peacefully reading a book must be planning an escape. Do you see that poster on the wall? It's likely covering a hole. Look at the ground right beneath it. There's some sand from drilling. Maria got lost in an enchanted castle. While looking for a way out, she entered a room filled with similarly dressed gentlemen. They were all cheering for the king. Oh, maybe he could help Maria get out of the castle. But how can the girl figure out which of these men is the king? The king is the man on the right, sitting next to Maria. He's the only one who's looking out the window while everyone else is looking at him. In search of a treasure, you come to this crossroads. Which direction should you pick to find the treasure? The answer is actually carved on the stone. Turn the inscription upside down, and it'll say South. David woke up in a hospital with no memories whatsoever. Soon, three girls rushed into his room. Each of them claimed to be his only sister. Can you help David figure out which of these ladies is telling the truth? David's real sister is the girl in the middle. Look, they both have identical birthmarks on their hands. Michael was diving when he realized he was about to run out of oxygen. He saw two caves nearby. Which cave should he choose to have a chance to survive? He should opt for the left cave. Have you noticed those bubbles of air coming out of it? It means there must be some dry land inside the cave. An elderly lady called the police to report that her neighbor, a young woman called Gina, seemed to have disappeared. The woman hadn't seen her for a few days and got worried. When the police arrived at Gina's house, they managed to unlock the door and found Gina inside, tied to a chair with her mouth covered with a scarf. When she could talk again, she told the police that 3 days ago, a robber had broken into her house, tied her, and taken all her money and gadgets. The police officers didn't believe Gina. Why? Look at the date on the calendar, over there on the wall. See? It's the same date as the one on the calendar at the police station. But if Gina was tied all this time, who was changing the dates on her calendar? Three friends, Kathy, Mark, and Lauren, gathered together to catch up on their latest news at Lauren's place. At one point, they decided to play hide and seek. When it was Lauren's turn to look for her friends, she easily found Mark. But even with his help, she couldn't spot Kathy. Can you help Lauren find her friend? Kathy took her task seriously. Look, she's hiding in a trash can. Megan invited her friends to a restaurant to celebrate her birthday. They had a lot of fun. Megan got the best birthday present ever, a ring with a large diamond. But suddenly, the room plunged into darkness. After several minutes of total confusion, the lights came back on. But Megan's ring was gone. Look at the image attentively and try to figure out who stole it. It's the waiter. Look at the glass he's holding. He must have put the ring inside. Now there's much more water in it. It's the year 2158. Jim is repairing the roof of his garage. At one point, he slips and falls to the ground and breaks his leg. But the next day, Jim is already walking in the park, looking perfectly fine. How is it possible? Jim is a robot. See that red light blinking over his left ear? They must have repaired him really fast. Marta was walking through the park near her home in the evening. It was dark and there was nobody around. Suddenly, her bag was grabbed from behind and the person bolted away. Marta took off after them. She was pretty sure this person was a woman, but she couldn't make out her appearance or clothes. The woman disappeared inside a school building. When Marta ran inside, she saw 3 teachers. The girl looked at them attentively and soon figured out which one had taken her bag. Can you do the same? The woman in the middle wouldn't be able to run with the cast on her leg. The one on the right doesn't have anything in her hands. Where would she hide Marta's bag so quickly? But the woman on the left has a big shopper bag on her shoulder. A real teacher wouldn't need to carry it in the classroom. A wealthy businessman was kidnapped right from his house. The detective who arrived to investigate the case found nothing strange inside, but a mysterious note with a strange set of symbols written on it. There are 3 suspects: Eric, Ellie, and Colin. Can you help the detective identify the criminal? The culprit is Ellie. Her name is the one coded in the note. Susan worked in a clothing store that sold expensive designer items. One day, she discovered that someone had stolen a pair of pants. Look at the people who were inside at that time. Try to figure out who the thief is. It's the guy on the right. If you look attentively at his legs, you'll see the pants peeping out from under his jeans. Newlyweds Maria and Daniel went to a tropical island on their honeymoon. They stayed at a luxurious hotel. But one day, when they returned from dinner, they found out that someone had broken into their safe and stolen Maria's jewelry. There were several suspects: a maid, Maria and Daniel's neighbors, and the hotel manager. but the maid claimed that she hadn't cleaned any rooms on the newlyweds' floor at all that day. The neighbors said that they had been on an excursion all day and had just returned. And the hotel manager stated that he had several important meetings with clients and hadn't left his office. Can you figure out who the thief is really quick? The neighbors stole the jewelry. Have you noticed a bolt cutter in their bag? Why would they need it on an excursion? David worked at a construction site. Once, someone attacked him, and the unconscious man was taken to a hospital. Police officers who arrived to investigate the case had 3 suspects: Alex, Ryan, and John. Alex said that he had been putting tiles on the roof when the accident happened. Ryan confessed that he'd been sleeping under a tree. And John claimed that he'd been laying bricks at that time. Who's lying? Alex was the one to hurt David. The building has no roof yet, so he couldn't be putting tiles up there.
Now, this is a picture on the door of a restroom in a restaurant. What does this thing mean? Can you guess? It translates as "ladies first." In one of these school restroom stalls, a fugitive who escaped custody and disguised herself to blend in is hiding. But she's made some crucial mistakes. Can you figure out which one is the criminal, left or right? The criminal is in the right stall. At first glance, the person inside looks like your typical good girl. But if you take a closer look, you'll notice that there's no toilet paper inside the stall, and the floor under her feet is spotlessly clean. It's almost like the scene has been staged. And most importantly, she has marks on her ankles from handcuffs. That's what gives her away. At 3 a.m., security cameras caught a person disguised as a patient walking out of a private clinic. There are 3 suspects: a man in a robe and sneakers, an elderly woman in pajamas and boots, and a woman with a head bandage wearing slippers. One of them is an escaped criminal. Can you figure out which one it is? It's the woman with the head bandage. Her bandage is clean and freshly wrapped, which probably means she put it on herself. Plus, who walks on asphalt in slippers unless they're trying to look like a patient? The morning surveillance footage shows 3 people entering the antique hall: a girl in a long green coat, a man wearing a t-shirt labeled security, and a guy with a camera. 1 minute later, the alarm goes off. Someone has stolen an ancient vase. Who is the thief? It's the guy with the camera. He's carrying a large camera bag too, which means the vase could easily be hidden inside. Besides, who else carries a camera like that in a museum? Someone tried to sabotage a restaurant's rating and replaced a regular dish with a spoiled one. The owner reviewed the security footage and saw that 3 people had entered the kitchen. They were a bartender wearing an apron, a chef with a tall white hat, and a waiter carrying a tray. One of them didn't even work at the restaurant. Can you spot the impostor? It's the bartender. His apron doesn't have the restaurant's logo, which means he brought it from somewhere else. He must be a rival, trying to ruin the restaurant's reputation and bring down its rating. At a scenic viewpoint, 3 people are standing: a girl with a map, a guy with a camera, and a man in a suit and dress shoes. Which of them is suspicious? The answer is quite obvious. The man in the suit looks suspicious. No real tourist hikes up hills in shiny leather shoes. He's clearly there for another reason. Ooh, suspicious. At a party in an elite gallery, famous actor James Bean suddenly felt unwell. Security footage shows 3 guests offering him drinks. The question is, who slipped him the poison? It's the woman in red. She's the only one holding the glass with her left hand, which means she could have secretly slipped poison from a locket ring on her right. Otherwise, why would she wear such a large ring on her pinky? Cheryl was reading a book, but she was careless and accidentally tore out pages 7, 8, 100, 101, 333, and 334. How many pages will she have to fix? Just 4. 7 and 8, as well as 33 and 34, are just different sides of one page. Sarah was invited to a party organized by her friend Sean. Sarah was worried there might be a thief at this party. Throughout the event, she was watching the guests attentively. At the end of the party, she realized who the thief was. Have you figured it out too? It's the host, Sean. At the beginning of the party, one of his guests had a watch on his wrist, and this woman had a beautiful necklace. But at the end of the party, the watch is already on Sean's wrist, and the necklace is in that flower pot. See? Airport security guards are checking the luggage of 3 suspicious passengers. One of them is a robber on the run. Can you help the guards figure out which passenger is a criminal? The clown costume looks pretty innocent. It doesn't have a mask that covered the face, so it's unlikely that the person owning this suitcase is a robber. The lady shows her cash freely and openly, which probably means the money is legal. But this lady with an empty suitcase is pretty suspicious. Her suitcase probably has a double bottom, and she must be hiding something inside. Otherwise, why would she travel with an empty bag? You're checking in at a hotel, and the receptionist gives you a note. There are just 3 letters there, F, B, D. Can you figure out what your room number is? It's room 624. F is the 6th letter of the alphabet, B is the 2nd, and D is the 4th. While walking on a beach, Patricia found a watch in the sand. There were only 3 other people around. Look at them carefully and try to figure out who the watch belongs to. This guy's watch is in his jeans pocket. The strap is peeking out. The tan line on this girl's wrist doesn't match the shape of the watch. It means the watch belongs to this elderly man. You need to get out of a creepy house. There are lots of doors in front of you. They're numbered from 1 to 22. To choose the right door, you need to figure out the next number in this sequence. Can you do it? The right answer is 20. All these numbers are the only ones that don't have any other vowels but E. So you should open the door with the number 20 written on it. Brandon was patrolling the streets. While driving past his friend's house, he saw the front door open. Inside, he found his friend on the floor. After he was taken to a hospital, the officer went to question the neighbors. Julie said that she had been planting trees in her garden since early morning. Nathan explained that he had some problems with his car and had been in the garage all day long. And Patrick said that he had been watching a new episode of his favorite TV show. Which neighbor is lying? Nathan is. His hands and gloves are spotless. That wouldn't be possible if he had indeed been repairing his car. Someone stole a bag from an elderly lady walking in the park. The police have 3 suspects. John claims it isn't him because he's been busy jumping on a trampoline. Laura says she's been drinking fresh juice at the cafe. And Patrick says he's been selling ice cream. Can you understand who the thief is? It's John. His alibi is fake. The guy wouldn't have been allowed to get on the trampoline because of the age limit. See that note? Jonathan's friend went to explore a mysterious castle and got lost, so the man decided to sneak in and find him. He ended up in a large room with 3 doors. One of these doors led to a labyrinth. Another door was the exit, but if Jonathan went through it, he'd have to cross 3 moats to get out. And behind one of the doors was Jonathan's friend. Can you figure out which door Jonathan needs? The door handles are made of some shiny metal, and the only door with fingerprints is the one on the left. That's where Jonathan's friend is. A man was discovered unconscious at his desk, alone in the locked office. He was rushed to a hospital, and the police started investigating this case. The only clue was a sealed envelope on the man's desk. Have you figured out what happened? The envelope glue was poisoned, and when the man licked the envelope to seal it, he got sick. 3 women are sharing a table at a fancy gala, but one of them is secretly on the run from the police. Can you look at the picture and find the impostor? The first woman, dressed in red, is holding a glamorous clutch bag and elegant earrings. The second is using designer high heels and a very expensive-looking necklace. The third one looks pretty in pink, but hey, look at her right ankle. There's a clear tan line around her ankle that kind of gives away the ankle monitor she had on until recently. She's on the run for sure. Bex recently got engaged. To celebrate, she gifted her fiancé with tickets to a famous pop star's concert. Since they work on opposite sides of town, they decided to meet directly at the venue. Take a look at that crowd dancing in the VIP area. Can you figure out who Bex's fiancé is? It's that blonde guy in the middle. He and Bex have got matching tattoos. He's the one. Maeve quit her job and decided to travel the world. Her first destination was Paris. She just arrived and looked for the first hostel she could find. But, she really shouldn't go inside this place. Take a look at the image. Can you figure out why? This hostel is haunted. There's the shadow of a ghost on the top window. I definitely wouldn't go in. Sarah was invited for brunch with her new colleagues from work. She recently started working at a tech company. She arrived at the restaurant but didn't see any of her colleagues. Instead, she saw a weird-looking robot. How could she tell that it was really a robot? I know it looks like a person, but hey, look at its wrists. It has USB ports on both of them. Inside a high-security prison, 3 men were eager to escape. The first one was trying to break the cell bars. The second was working out every day to get strong. The last one was quietly reading a book. Can you tell which one might have a chance at escaping? It's the one reading a book. He knows that none of the other prisoners are going to make it. By reading books, he might get an answer on how to escape. A doctor rushed into the emergency room and saw that there were 2 patients waiting for urgent treatment. The man on the left was a tech billionaire, and the lady on the right was a grandmother to 5 children. He needed to think fast who he would save. Who should he choose? He should choose the grandmother. The man on the left has a phone next to him. He could call someone else for help. A thief broke into a renowned artist's studio and stole a rare painting. He didn't manage to get too far, though, because a security patrol passed by while he was escaping. The thief stashed the painting under a thick bush and hid behind a nearby wall. Take a look at the picture. Which of these 2 guys stole the painting? If you crawl through a bush with bare arms, they'll most likely get scratched. Take a look at that second guy's arms. They're covered in scratches. He must be the culprit. Ava got into a serious accident during the weekend. She got a concussion and broke her leg. Still, the very next day, one of her friends saw her riding a bicycle in the park and she looked fine. How is that possible? Look, the girl who got into a car accident has a tattoo on her ankle. The girl on the bike doesn't. The girl who was riding the bike was Ava's twin sister, Malva. Ben and Paula were watching the Riddle channel at home. They got into a heated discussion about who would survive such a dangerous prank. Take a look at the image. Who do you think has the biggest chance at survival? It's the lady trapped with the snakes. I know it sounds dangerous, but the snakes are small and not poisonous. These are Julia and Jane. They are both very attractive young women who have no trouble finding boyfriends. Today is Valentine's Day, and they're both going out with their loved ones. One of them is currently dating 3 people, though, so she's probably going to run from date to date. Just by looking at this image, can you tell which one it is? It's Jane, the one on the left. If you look at her workstation, she's got 3 presents lined up, one for each person she's currently seeing. Anna and Barbara are cleaners at a fancy hotel. The hotel manager received a call saying that one of them had stolen precious jewelry from one of the guests. Take a look at the image. Can you figure out who did it? It was Anna. If you look closely, there's a shiny diamond inside that cleaning bucket. Uh-oh. Olivia was running a marathon. Right before the finish line, she did her best and outran the person who was running in second place. The woman was happy and excited she was going to win. But in a few seconds, she was very disappointed. Why? Because Olivia finished in second place when she wanted to finish first. This is what happened. She was fast enough to outrun the person who was going to win second place. but she wasn't fast enough to outrun the person who finished first. But hey, it's a good result anyway. Lila got an invitation to join a pop-up riddle show. She was excited to win, but when the host asked her the question, she froze. He asked her how many numbers were on a clock. Can you help her figure it out? The real answer here is 15. Here's the trick. Numbers like 10, 11, and 12 are made up of smaller digits. If you count clockwise, you actually have these digits: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 0, 1, 1, and 1, 2. Add them all up, and you've got 15. A car crashed into a restaurant window and drove straight inside. The owner was horrified and called the cops to investigate. There are two main suspects, Julia and Bernard. Each of them claims it was the other person who is the culprit. Take a look at the image. Can you figure out who is lying? It's Julia. If you pay attention to the tire tracks, you'll see that they're the same pattern as Julia's tires. She's the one who did it. Dan enrolled in a photography class. For his latest assignment, he needed to take a landscape picture and present it to the class. But Dan didn't have time to do the assignment, so he decided to Photoshop an image and show it in class. The teacher and students immediately saw that the picture wasn't real. How could they tell? Well, because the image has two suns. That's not natural, at least not on planet Earth. Carly and her boyfriend traveled to Chicago for the first time ever. They spent the entire day sightseeing and decided to stop for a while on a park bench to rest. Take a look at the picture. Who is Carly's boyfriend? It's the guy on the left. He's wearing the same t-shirt she's wearing. During the office's end-of-year party, Heather and Tim kissed under the mistletoe, and it became the talk of the company. The next month, everyone was still talking about it near the coffee machine. Take a look at the image and try to guess which two people kissed under the mistletoe. I bet those eagle eyes spotted that two of them were wearing a similar pendant. On the left, you can see Tim, the guy with half of a heart-shaped necklace. And then on the right, Heather is the girl wearing a bracelet with the same pendant. Aww.
Camilla needs to open an ancient treasury that protects a magical object. There are 3 numbered doors, but only one leads to the real treasury. There's a sign on each door. Door 1 says, "The treasury is behind door 2." Door 2 claims that the treasury is not here, and door 3 is sure that the treasury is here. Camilla knows that door 1 lies, door 2 tells the truth, door 3 lies. Where is the treasure? Door 2 is the only one that tells the truth, so its statement, "the treasury is not here," is true. Door 3 says the treasury is here, but it is lying. So, the treasury is behind door 1. Daniel is a librarian working in an old historic library. One day, he notices that one of the rare books has gone missing. The library is empty except for 3 visitors: Clara, Victor, and Angela. Daniel asks if anyone has seen anything strange. Everyone denies it, so Daniel checks the security cameras. Victor is the thief. In the footage, he still has his backpack. And it's something that is not allowed in the library. See that sign? he could easily hide the book inside. Two best friends, Jack and Tyler, went to a tropical island to surf and have some rest. After an active day at the sea, they bought a large watermelon and ate it. In an hour or so, Tyler felt unwell and lost consciousness. Luckily, he was taken to a hospital in time. But Jack couldn't understand what had happened. Both guys ate the same watermelon. Tyler didn't have any kind of allergy. Then how come Jack was perfectly fine? Jack didn't eat watermelon seeds, and Tyler did. Whatever substance poisoned him was in the seeds. Lucas wakes up in a hospital after a 2-week coma. He doesn't remember anything, not even his own name. In front of him, 3 women argue with the doctors, claiming to be his wife. Look at them attentively and try to figure out who Lucas's real wife is. Lucas realizes that the only woman who bothered to bring something personal was Rita. In the notebook she holds, there are notes about his medications, his allergy history, and medical reminders. In addition, she has a blue wedding ring on her finger, just like his. All the other women have gold wedding rings. During a conference on modern relationships, 3 women take the stage to share their experiences of life as a couple. They all claim to be married, but one of them is lying. Who is not actually married? The woman in the middle is not married. She's wearing the ring on her right hand, which could mean something else. Maybe it's an engagement ring or just an accessory. Wedding rings are usually worn on the opposite hand. Look at the picture and pay attention to all the details. Can you figure out the secret word that can unlock the door? I'd say there are too many vases in this room, so the secret word must be vase. Something important was stolen from a mansion, and there were 2 suspects, the cook and the gardener. The gardener said he'd been working in the garden all day, and the cook said she'd been working in the kitchen all morning. Who is lying? The cook is a liar. Look at that bread on the table. The cook must have left the kitchen at some point for it to have burned so badly. Lola and Leela were both born in March. When Lola was 4, she was double Leela's age. This March, Leela celebrates her 100th anniversary. And how many candles are there on Lola's cake? She has 102 candles, since their age difference is 2 years. Mila has 2 guys who are courting her. In the evening, she decides to video call each of them. After this, she blocks one of the guys. Which guy is it, and why did she do it? It's the guy on the right. He isn't living alone. See that second toothbrush? It might belong to his girlfriend. There was a green glass door in the middle of a big city. Rumor had it that something mysterious and beautiful was hidden behind this door. A group of friends found the door and tried to go through it. Interestingly, Amanda, Anna, and Oliver managed to sneak inside, while Lauren and Sebastian weren't even able to open the door. What do you think? Will Mark get inside or not? Mark will easily open the door and go through it. Only people whose names contain an even number of letters can do it. Look at this picture attentively. Can you figure out which of these 3 men is the boss? It's the man on the right. Do you see that his suit jacket is hanging on the boss's chair? No matter who's standing behind the desk, he's the boss. Look at these nurses very attentively. One of them is fake, and your goal is to figure out which one is an impostor. The nurses on the right and in the middle have the correct photos on their name tags, but the nurse on the left has the same picture as the second one. Plus, she doesn't look like the person in the photo. She is the impostor. A police officer was following a criminal suspected of smuggling. Suddenly, the man sped up and disappeared around the corner. The officer ran after him, but there was already no sign of the man. The only place where the suspect could hide was a beauty salon. The officer entered it and saw 3 women, but he knew for sure that one of them had to be the man he was looking for. Which one? All the women look stylish and beautiful, but look at the arms of the one sitting on the right. They seem to be too hairy to belong to a woman. That must be the criminal. One day, Cooper was relaxing at home when someone rang the doorbell. When the guy opened the door, he saw 2 police officers. They told Cooper his neighbor had called them, claiming that the guy had insulted him. And when the neighbor allegedly jumped into his car and tried to drive away, Cooper threw a stone and smashed his car window. Cooper asked the police officers to let him take a look at the neighbor's car. After they all examined the vehicle, the police arrested the neighbor. How did they understand Cooper wasn't guilty? The windshield was smashed, but if Cooper had been chasing after the car, the stone would have broken the rear window. A dangerous criminal escaped from the police and got a job in a wealthy household. When the detectives arrived there, they found out that 3 men had been hired recently. The cook told the police he'd been working in a restaurant before. The gardener said he'd always been interested in plants. And the security guard said his father was the house owner's friend. He helped Robert get his position. Who's the criminal? It's the cook. Before the police came, he'd been trying to make an omelet. But look, it's full of eggshells. A real cook would never make such a mistake. Janice rented an apartment with 3 other girls. Once, her mom visited her and gave Janice some money. The girl put the bills under a book lying on her desk and went to see her mom off. When she returned, there was no money in the room. The girl questioned her neighbors. Natalie answered she had just returned from her morning run. Brittany told Janice she had wanted to read the book. After taking it, she put the money in the middle drawer. Kayla said she had entered the room just once to look for her scarf. Who took the money? It was Brittany. The desk has no middle drawer. Mika got trapped by a mysterious person, but they told the girl that she could escape if she solved this riddle. You have a cardboard box. It's easier to lift from a wooden floor than from a steel cable. What's in the box? Mika thought for a while and answered correctly. What did she say? The box is filled with magnets.
Hey, ready to do some massive rock and rolling with your brain muscles? Let's start anyway. Just kidding. Detective Jenny receives an anonymous report. One of the 3 guests at a local cafe is a thief. Can you help her figure out who? The first guy holds female jewelry, but it could be a gift for his girlfriend because there are 2 cups at his table. Plus, there are security cameras everywhere, so he wouldn't flash the jewelry so openly if it was stolen. The same is true for the 3rd guy with 2 phones. So, the 2nd guy who's hiding cash in his socks is the thief. Oh no! One of the customers just collapsed at a small store. He needs to be taken to the hospital, but the store owner doesn't have a vehicle. Which one of these 3 cars should he try to stop and ask for a lift? The first car is already full. The ambulance has an emergency siren on. It must already have a patient inside who needs urgent help, so it won't stop. So he should try with the police car. They made it to the hospital, but now it's time to choose between the 3 entry gates. The first one is for regular patients. The second leads to the doctor's offices. And the third is for emergency cases. Which one should they choose? The first and second ones are overcrowded, so they should enter the doctor's offices and get help and guidance there. There is this mystery box Sammy needs to open, but the problem is she can't use her hands. She's breaking her head over it and doesn't notice her friend entering the room. She twists her ankle and falls over him. Ouch! He helps her up, and then she knows what to do with the box. Any ideas about what it is? The instructions said not to use her hands, but it didn't say anything about getting help from others. She just asked her friend to open the box. Real estate ads sometimes lie to make you rent an apartment with a secret. Like maybe there was a maniac living there before you. Can you tell if there's one living in any of these apartments? Those photos in the second apartment look really creepy. Maybe the maniac keeps track of his targets in this way. What about these 2 apartments? Again, there's a maniac living in one of them. That axe sure looks like something only a maniac would keep in the house. Whoops! Wendy ended up in some scary room, and the only way out is through a door protected by some extra security logistical password. Wendy needs to choose one of the 4 objects on the screen that doesn't fit in here for some reason. Can you help her out? A plastic straw, a paper cup, and a pack of wet wipes are all single-use items. The ceramic plate is the only non-disposable item here. She needs to press the button number 2 to unlock the lab door. Mrs. Stone is an influential woman and a picky client. She gets really unhappy about her haircut and calls the manager. He asks who did her hair, and she can't tell because the hairdressers are twins, and they both deny doing it. Can you figure out who's to blame? It's this twin on the right. Mrs. Stone's short blue hair is still on her black dress. Someone steals a safe box from a wealthy mansion. All they have is this footage of the thief. A couple of days later, Lena, the heiress, meets the man of her dreams. He wants to find out every little detail about her. She brings him home, and her dad calls the police immediately. Why? The man in the footage has the same tattoo on his arm. He must be so interested in Lena to learn the code for the safe box. It could be some important date for the family. A local TV channel did a piece on a new restaurant that is so great that you can never find an empty table and you have to book weeks ahead. The idea was to bring even more guests in, but after the piece, people stopped going there altogether. Why? They saw this reflection in the wall mirror. These aren't people, but cardboard cutouts. I wouldn't go to a place that lies to customers like this either. At a gala dinner, Jack meets the most beautiful girl he's ever seen. He falls in love immediately, but it turns out she's already married. Can you guess which one of these guys is her spouse? It's this guy here. He's the only one who doesn't have a drink in his hands. And the beautiful girl is holding 2 glasses, one for herself and one for her husband. Sorry, Jack. Nevertheless, he persisted. Jack decides to keep looking and goes on a date with a girl he met online. He clearly wrote that all he wants is someone who's honest with him, even if it's the small things. He asked the girl different questions, and one of them is if she's a natural blonde. Once she answers yes, he says their relationship won't work out. Why? The girl has really dark roots and eyebrows. There's nothing wrong with that, but she just lied. She's not a natural blonde, and Jack can't stand any lies. Meanwhile, Sarah and John are looking for their first house together. Aww. The real estate agent showed them 3 options. The first one has the most beautiful location, and the price is super affordable. The second house is super spacious, and again, the price is really good. The third one looks the least impressive, and the price is the same. What should they choose? They should go for the third house. There's mold in the first one, and the second one has a cockroach problem. Sue wants to get her nails done and chooses a fancy place where they take care of everything. They even take her bag into safe storage so she doesn't have to worry about it. Oops, looks like someone went through it while she was busy. One of her favorite earrings is missing. There are 3 suspects. Who did it? It must be the receptionist. She only has 1 earring, and it matches the second one that's still in storage. Kira went to a big party, and someone stole her wallet. Yikes! Her credit card was inside, but no cash whatsoever. The police were able to narrow it down to 3 suspects. Sam said she was singing karaoke, and everyone could confirm it. Jim said he spent 40 minutes in line for the toilet. Jody said she was loaded and didn't need someone else's credit card. Who's lying here? The only way Jody could know that the wallet only had 1 credit card inside was to actually steal it. It was her. 2 girls are sitting at the same table at a coffee shop. One of them is talking about an article she's working on as a journalist. The second girl is complaining about her boyfriend, who's become really distant lately. Sometimes the answers match, but otherwise it looks like they are just interrupting each other. What's going on here? These 2 girls aren't speaking to each other. They're talking on their phones through wireless headphones. Nate wants to visit the new popular cafe downtown. They work on a first-come, first-served basis, and getting a table is really tricky. But he has enough experience to spot one table that will be free soon. How does he know it? There's a bill and the money already on the table. It means these ladies right here are about to leave, and Nate can grab this table. A famous artist was presenting a new painting. While everyone was looking at it, someone stole her old masterpiece worth millions. The police questioned everyone and narrowed down the suspects to 3 people. Steve is the waiter, and he was busy serving drinks. Mark is a professional musician, and he says he was playing the piano. Natalie says she had to go out to discuss something on the phone, so it wasn't her. Who's the thief? Mark said he was playing the piano, but there are no musical instruments in the exhibition hall. It was him.